let's talk a little bit about voting, because obviously that is extremely important, especially this election. It's so important, every presidential election, but this one is uniquely critical, as we know, to make sure that all Americans are getting out there and voting. A lot of Americans, as you guys know, they're concerned about how do they cast their ballot safely during this time. In my opinion, and maybe this is something that we could work on when you guys are in the White House, I do believe that Election Day should be a federal holiday.
So do we.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
You go. And really incentivize our Americans to get out there, and especially the ones who are unable to get away from their job, to vote. Guys, how do we strengthen and protect our American people's right to vote?
Well, first of all, this time around, vote early. Seek a ballot, vote early. And we're going to have to make sure we train a whole group of younger poll workers who are healthier and not afraid to be, not legitimately concerned about being in a polling place in the middle of this COVID crisis. That's underway. We have the largest group of lawyers and people working on getting out the vote and working with states that has ever been assembled in a presidential election, because you see what's going on in the post office now. You see what's going on and what talk about whether or not voting is legit. There's an attempt to delegitimize the vote, delegitimize absentee ballots, delegitimize voting by mail. So we have to make sure the American people aren't demoralized into not voting. Your vote will count. We'll watch it. Begin to plan now what and how you're going to vote. And vote early when you can. And we're going to make sure that there are polling places that are sanitized, you're able to socially distance, wear a mask. We have to do this. And we've done it every time. We've done it in the middle of the Civil War. We did it in the middle of the pandemic in 1917, World War I, World War II. There is no reason we can't do this now. It's the essence of who we are as a republic.
Just to emphasize Joe's point, have a vote plan.
Yes.
So right now, mark your calendar for Election Day. Find out if in your state you can vote by mail, and then do that early. If you're going to vote by mail, familiarize yourself with how to fill out the ballot correctly before you fill it out. If you can vote early, then vote early. And if you can only vote on Election Day, know where your polling place is. Think about what time of day you're going to go. Pick up your mask, like Joe said. And then you can also text vote at 30330 and get a lot of information, and we'll help you actually come up with your voting plan. And to remind people of deadlines and things like that, because it's so important that everyone's voice is heard, and that's the power of your vote. It's your voice.
That's right. It is. It's the power of everybody's voice. Vote is their voice, and I appreciate you taking a little bit of time too, as well, to help educate, because a lot of Americans, and I was like this too at one time, where I didn't quite know what the process was. Yep. And while you think, yes, I'm going to vote and I need to vote, and everyone wants to vote because everybody cares deeply about our country, sometimes they're in a little bit of a scenario where they're just a little unsure and a little uncertain. So I'm glad you took a moment there to give a little bit of direction.
Can I say one more thing before we go, DJ?
Of course.
That, in fact, John Lewis was right before he died. Voting is a sacred obligation and is the answer to outcomes. You can make a difference. If, in fact, young people between the age of 18 and 30, voted the same percentage as folks did above the age of 30 last time out, there would have been 5.2 million more people who voted. They can own the outcome. They can own the outcome. And we have faith in them. But they've got to get out and vote.